Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some really fun spice in the Master League Classic Edition, Scizor. For the team, we are running double Bullet Punch users in the back, with Scizor Save Switch and Metagross Closer, and on the lead, we are running Palkia. While I definitely don't recommend running Scizor in the Master League, I was able to have some nice success with it, including this 8-2 run. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's take a look at Scizor in action in the Master League Classic Edition. Hopping to the first match, picking up a terrible lead, Palkia into Dialga. We are going to save switch into Scizor, and we're able to bait out Giratina Origin. Scizor actually doesn't have a winning matchup against Dialga, but a lot of Dialgas see the steel typing and they end up switching out anyways. I don't really want to commit a shield in this matchup, so I am more than willing to let this go. They actually end up Ominous Wind baiting, and that mistake will allow me to reach a second Night Slash. This will be getting the Giratina pretty low, and we're able to force a shield, and we get the boost. That's huge. Now the Giratina can't even farm us down. They are forced to empty energy on a second Ominous Wind. So Scizor on the save switch, able to bait out the Giratina and give us shield advantage for the endgame. And now I'm hoping that my Metagross with shield advantage will be able to close now that we have baited out the Ghost type. They're only able to get to the Ominous Wind, and here we just instantly switch into the Metagross, and they have their own Metagross in the back, and at this point, this game should be over. We have a shield advantage in the mirror, we have an energy advantage, and on top of that, I do have the best buddy boost equipped, so I am going to be winning every CMP tie. We are able to sneak through, which is very, very nice. At this point, they're only going to be baiting Meteor Mashes. I still do want to shield up just to be safe. We get to the Earthquake. Earthquake will be taking them out, and with a shield left to go, at this point, this game is over. Dialga comes back in, opponent sees the writing on the wall, and concedes the match. Hopping to the next match, pretty nice lead, we have Palkia into Giratina Origin. The opponent safe switches into Excadrill, and honestly, I'm just going to stay in here. My backline does not want to see Excadrill, and while Metagross definitely doesn't want to see the Giratina, Scizor honestly doesn't have too terrible of a matchup. I can tank the first move here, so I will tank the first drill run. I do get outpaced, but they should be a pretty neutral matchup, merely just because they have to shield every single Aqua Tail, whereas I can definitely let that first drill run through. We do have quite a bit of energy going for Aqua Tail number 2. I am expecting them to commit the shield, as they know that they can get a shield back. Here, I should be able to hopefully overfarm by 1 and still outpace them, and that way I will leave with a little bit of residual energy. So we are going for the Aqua Tail. Shields are down. This is going to be taking out the Excadrill. Back in comes the Giratina to farm down. Unfortunately, we cannot reach the Draco Meteor, but any chip damage helps, so we will land the Aqua Tail. And the Aqua Tail plus the Dragon Tail actually able to get them below half health. And now in comes Scizor, and we will just have to eat a Shadow Ball here. Shadow Ball does some big damage, but we should be able to reach the Night Slash, but an incredible catch by the opponent. They catch the Night Slash onto Melmetal. Here, I know I need to have a Night Slash to kill this in the end game, so we farm up to the Night Slash, and now we bring in Metagross. From here, we should be in a winning position, because as I end up finding out, Scizor does win CMP over Giratina, so there are some advantages that come to being exceedingly attack weighted. So from here, all we have to do is reach the Earthquake versus the Melmetal. This will be taking out the Melmetal, and it doesn't even matter if they farm us down, because at this point, we do have the Night Slash loaded, and these Bullet Punches will more than get it into Night Slash range. Scizor wins CMP. We are going to be able to take out the Giratina Origin. We get a BM boost for the road, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, again picking up a pretty rough lead in Lugia, but we have 2 better responses in back. So we safe switch into Scizor, and this time we bait out Palkia. Definitely nice to bait out the water type, so that way our Metagross will not have to face it, and Scizor gets another boost. The third one in 3 games, Scizor on an absolute rampage, and maybe because of the boost, the opponent decides to throw an Aqua Tail instead of attempting to farm down. That Night Slash does do some big damage, and from here we should be in a pretty okay spot where we can fully farm down with our Palkia, and they should not be able to reach a Draco Meteor. We do sneak through a Dragon Tail, which is very nice. They go for the Aqua Tail, that's fine by me, and we're able to farm down. Back in comes Lugia, and we bring in Metagross. And the fact that they're staying in is hopefully a really good sign, because this should mean that they are very, very weak to Metagross in the back. We land the Meteor Mash. They are going to be going more than likely for the Aeroblast, so I will actually commit the shield. That would do a decent amount of damage, and it's Zacian in the back. If you can't tell from the last few videos, I have made it a habit of trying to build teams that do quite well versus Zacian, and this is no exception. We have the double Bullet Punch users in the back. They should be going for the back-to-back close combats here. They go for the first, and we're going to switch into the Palkia to catch the second. Now their defense is 4 stages debuffed, so I'm actually going to farm them down if they try and farm me down. They try for it, they are unable to get it, and we leave with a Draco Meteor loaded. This will guarantee the shield, and we get taken out, but that is totally fine by me. Metagross will comfortably be able to reach the Meteor Mash. Meteor Mash will be taking care of that Lugia, and that is a good game. Don't look now, but that is 3-0 in this set with Scizor. Hopping to the next match and picking up a pretty neutral lead Palkia into Melmetal. Typically for this team, when I do see a neutral lead, I do like to safe switch into the Scizor to bait out their best response to a Steel type. Unfortunately, Scizor has a really poor matchup versus Melmetal. Because of that, I am actually going to stay in this lead for a while and play it out. The Melmetal goes for the back-to-back Rock Slides, Palkia able to survive both, and now we can start unloading our charge moves. The Dragon Tails have done a decent amount of damage to the point where the second Aqua Tail will be applying a lot of pressure to the Melmetal, and we are able to force the shield. Palkia does get the Dragon Tail through as they throw, so my thinking here is I'm going to shield up, bank the Aqua Tail in case they have a Fire type in the back, and now we're going to go for a very aggressive Bullet Punch down with the Metagross. Metagross can tank 1 superpower here, that's totally fine, and now the opponent brings in Giratina Origin. I am going to be going for the Meteor Mash before they do reach the Ominous Wind. Meteor Mash will be doing a nice chunk of damage, and they decide to go for the Ominous Wind. Ominous Wind will be taking us out. There's 0 point in shielding in this matchup, and now I just have to trust in Scizor to be able to clutch out this game for us. I am over farming quite a bit, hoping I can go for a very aggressive farm down here, but instead they unfortunately bait me. I go for the Night Slash. If they went for the Shadow Ball, I was hoping for the farm down. No such luck. We'll go for the Night Slash to take them out, and we'll have to see what their third is. I'm not expecting them to bring back in the Melmetal, but they do. They bring in the Melmetal. We're able to farm down. Hopefully that means they're super weak in the back, and they are. They have Togekiss in the back, and Scizor is going to absolutely dominate here. We are going for the Night Slash after we landed the Iron Head. Night Slash does get them quite low. Scizor able to Bullet Punch all the way down, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, pretty terrible lead Palkia into Zacian. We safe switch into Scizor, and the opponent is not switching out. I was expecting them to close combat and dip, so I threw the Night Slash on what should have been the CMP tie on the close combat. So even though it's resisted, it is going to be doing extra damage, and we're able to force the shield. The Zacian is not switching out, and these Bullet Punches are doing a ton of damage. Again, I'm going to throw the Night Slash on the CMP tie, so that way, now their defense is 4 stages debuffed, and this will KO if they decide not to shield it. We get the boost, and the opponent finally switches out. They have Shadow Snorlax in the back, and Scizor is about to go on an absolute rampage with the boost. Iron Head does huge damage. We're actually going to save the Scizor for later and farm down with Palkia. They bring back in Zacian, but we're able to reach an Aqua Tail, and Aqua Tail should about be taking out Zacian from this range. We take out Zacian, and it's Giratina in the back. And from here, Palkia should easily be able to reach the Draco Meteor. 1 Shadow Ball is not going to take us out. Palkia with the survive. We reach the Draco Meteor. Draco Meteor is going to be absolutely banishing the Giratina. And that clinches the 5-0 set with Scizor. Hopping into the second set, picking up a very nice lead, Palkia into Therian Landorus. The opponent safe swaps into Dialga. I counter swap into Metagross, but I am slightly slow on the counter swap. To guarantee switch advantage, I do need to shield the first move here. They do go for the Iron Head. I'm expecting them to try and play out the 2 shield, so I am going to bait myself and go for the Meteor Mash. Unfortunately, the opponent calls it, and here's where things get really, really rough in this match. I try and go for a farm down, I'm not able to get there, and now I have to commit both shields in order to keep switch advantage. I definitely need to keep the Therian Landorus away from the Scizor, so to do so, I have to go down both shields. Fortunately, Meteor Mashes will be doing a nice chunk of damage to Therian Landorus. Therian Landorus is pretty glassy. We are going for Meteor Mash number 2. They decide not to shield, it gets them very low. Here I'm going to try and snipe with a Dragon Tail. They survive on 1 HP, and now comes in Yveltal. And here's where things get scary. I am down shields, and Yveltal is an absolute menace if you don't have a fairy type on your team. This Dark Pulse will not KO, but it will put us into farm down range. They go for the Dark Pulse, and we are going to be going for the Aqua Tail. Unfortunately, they do sneak through a Snarl. This will help them farm down, which is very, very unfortunate, as my switch clock is still not up, and at this point, my only win condition is to try and catch the Focus Blast onto Metagross. We bring in the Scizor, and our switch clock is just not up. By like 1 second, the switch clock did not come up, and unfortunately from here, we are not going to be able to win the match. Picking up a very nice lead in the next match, Palkia into Giratina Origin. The opponent safe switches into a Zacian, and we have the perfect response in the back with our Metagross. In order to guarantee switch advantage, I do need to give up a shield, so I throw the Meteor Mash as soon as I get it to get my opponent's first shield as well. Since I know I need to shield one, may as well shield the first one. They go for the Wild Charge, they throw one more Snarl, they throw the second, and now their defense will be 4 stages debuffed, so I will be able to Bullet Punch down before they reach Wild Charge number 3. This works out perfectly for me. I leave with a Meteor Mash loaded, and their Giratina will not get a lot of farm. Meteor Mash will be doing some big chip damage here, and they actually commit the shield. They definitely respect the power of Meteor Mash there. We bring in Palkia, we are farming up quite a bit. Here I honestly want to save the shield for Scizor, so I am going to let this go. They just go for the Ominous Wind, and now they bring in Dialga. Scizor cannot see this, but we have Draco Meteor on the Palkia. Palkia is going to absolutely vanquish Dialga, and now we have Scizor to take on the Giratina. In this matchup, I do make a pretty big misplay, in that from this health, I can survive a Shadow Ball, so at this point, the lose con is me shielding an Ominous Wind and them boosting. So if you notice here, I commit the shield, and they bait me. Thankfully, they don't boost, but that would have been the lose con. If I got baited there, they boosted, and then they Shadow Balled, that would have been a game over. So I misplayed pretty hard at the end there, but fortunately it did not end up costing me. Hopping to the next match, picking up a terrible lead, Palkia into Dialga. Again, we're going to save switch into the Scizor, and we bait out Giratina Origin. I am very okay with baiting out the Giratina Origin. That means Metagross will not have to face it, and we can throw these super effective Night Slashes and fish for a boost. We are able to reach Night Slash number 2, hoping against hope that we can get the shield. Unfortunately, the Giratina decides to not commit the shield, which is a very nice play on their part. They go for the Ominous Wind bait. I'm going to try and get to the Night Slash, but very nice counting by the opponent, recognizing that I would get to the Night Slash. They go for another Ominous Wind, and they get the boost themselves. That is pretty scary. We are able to farm down. Back in comes Dialga, we bring in Metagross, and they have Mewtwo in the back. I have to hope they're running Ice Beam, either that, or I just have to hope that they bait. So we are going to no shield in the first one. They do have Shadow Ball, and at that point, I concede the match. I was not winning that one. Hopping to the next match, we are leading Palkia into Giratina Origin, a very, very nice lead. The opponent safe switches a Zacian again. We already know how this plays out. We are going to throw the Meteor Mash to guarantee the shield, shield once on our end, and farm all the way down. They do go for the move. As I mentioned, we can tank one, so it's really up to us when we decide to shield. We'll tank the first close combat. They overfarm by 1 before they throw the second, but that will still not allow them to reach a third, as their defense is 4 stages debuffed. We farm all the way down, and we are going to be able to reach the Meteor Mash versus the Giratina Origin. This will be doing a nice chunk of damage onto the Giratina. They farm down, but now this is a very easy farm down range for Palkia. They have Togekiss in the back, and we have Scizor. And Scizor absolutely crushes Togekiss. This is just an ancient power, so I don't have to shield it. Thankfully, they did not build up to the Flamethrower, as Flamethrower would be absolute death for Scizor. We are going for the Iron Head. Iron Head does actually get the shield. I'm farming up as much as I dare, and now we are going for the Night Slash. Night Slash will barely not KO here, but we're able to Bullet Punch down. Can we get to the move? We're able to get to the Night Slash versus the Giratina. Let's go. Night Slash gets them very low. One Dragon Tail from Palkia takes them out, and that is a good game. All right, hopping to the final match of the set. We are 2-2 in this set, picking up a very nice lead in Kyogre. They save switch into Dialga, and I save switch into Metagross. Last time, I unfortunately shielded, baited. They called the bait and I had to go down 2 shields. I call it, but they go for a Draco Meteor. This is so bad. I'm going for the Earthquake, hoping they no shield, but my opponent does not play for switch advantage. That is absolutely massive, as Scizor gets absolutely bodied by Kyogre. They farm down with Kyogre, but they did not play for switch advantage, so I'm able to align my Palkia with the Kyogre. This will be doing a decent amount of damage as the Thunder, so I will shield up the Thunder there. We have to see what they have in back. They have Mamoswine, and we have Scizor. Scizor, these bullet punches are absolutely tearing through Mamoswine. We go for the Night Slash to guarantee a shield. They've built up enough where this could be a Bulldoze. I am going to commit the shield, just the Avalanche, and we're going for another Night Slash. Night Slash will be getting them pretty low, or more than likely getting that final shield. At this point, I don't have any shields, so whatever happens, happens, but we've got them pretty low. They just go for the Avalanche. Scizor trying to go for the farm down, able to get the farm down, and we leave with a Night Slash to throw at Kyogre. The Night Slash does get them fairly low. We swap back into the Palkia. Palkia able to land the Draco Meteor. Draco Meteor, definite overkill on the Kyogre, and that ends the 8-2 run. And now we have a bonus battle, which is definitely a blooper reel. Very nice lead. They save switch into the Mewtwo. We swap in Scizor. They only build up to 7. This couldn't be the Focus Blast, but they're running Flamethrower. Flamethrower kills an entire herd of Scizor. And at this point, having lost switch advantage, this game is already over. Oh my goodness. Big props to the Mad Lad running Flamethrower on the save switch. That absolutely finessed me. And at this point, they have Dialga in the back. They've won switch, and at this point, I have no win con. So all I can do is just say bravo and top left the match. All in all, I did have a ton of fun running Scizor in the Master League Classic Edition. This is definitely not a Pokemon I would recommend for climbing. It's definitely a lot more of a spicier pick than a meta pick, but I had a ton of fun with it. We were able to surprise some people, and we had some pretty decent success with it in a very, very small sample size. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.